What happens when you take an average, run-of-the-mill bracelet of a now somewhat vintage Rolex Sea Dweller and replace it with a current soft Halloween leather strap with cream stitching? You reignite life into a once forgotten and almost retired watch, so that it can not only see the light of day once more, but shine and shine brightly. Today I'm going to share some thoughts on one of my favourite dive watches of all time. One of the most underappreciated and almost forgotten heroes. A watch that has mostly lived in the shadow of its smaller sibling, the Submariner, and for no good reason. Welcome to the Rolex Sea Dweller. Isn't it great when we get a brand new watch and it's flawless? It blings, it shines, it basically glows in the dark. But what happens when years go by and that watch begins to show wear and tear, battle scars, nicks and knocks? Do we still have the same affection and love for that timepiece? Or is it now spending most of its life in a forgotten watch box? In a cupboard somewhere, in a dark, cold, gloomy room in the back of our house? Well, I suppose it comes down to which watch. You see, the watches of yesteryear, even watches from 20 years ago, were transition watches. They were evolving from one form to another, and in that transitional period, we can find some real gems. And yet, the beauty and charm presented to us from just a few decades ago cannot be ignored by current watch enthusiasts and collectors worldwide. This Rolex Sea Dweller is such an example. It is a watch that has pretty much lived in the shadow of its 300 metre smaller brother, the Submariner. To many, it has been forgotten or neglected, and has mainly been left out of the limelight. But I tell you what, this particular model I have here is one of my favourite Rolex dive watches of all time, and for good reason. You see, this watch has just the right amount of old school hues with a mix of modern technology and reliability. I suppose my connection to the Sea Dweller goes back to the original model, which came into existence in 1967, the year I was born. And the one in my hand, the 16600, which was manufactured around 1998, seems to draw from the original design with subtle modern upgrades that make this watch a very desirable timepiece. You gotta understand something. This watch was purchased at a time in history when you could walk into a Rolex AD and say 6 simple words: I want to buy a Rolex. Then the salesman would show you the entire range and you could pick something according to your budget and according to your liking. The asking price for this watch on the day of its purchase was 6,500 Australian dollars or 5,000 USD. Today, if you want to purchase this watch on the pre-owned market, be prepared to part with a lot more hard-earned cash than its original asking price. This 16600 predates ceramic bezels, and it exudes a very nice vintage charm and appeal. And yet, under the hood, under the bonnet, the caliber 3135 runs as good as any current offerings today. When you look at this watch, it demonstrates classic lines with its chamfered edges on the lugs and functional drill holes. It also predates the maxi dial, which gives it a form of petiteness. What you get from this watch is a sense of delicate and intricate beauty that is designed with an engineered purpose in mind. Looking down deep into that date window, the first thing that one notices is the lack of a cyclops. It takes you back and ignites a sense of nostalgic feelings and an appreciation of what it is that you have in the hand. That gloss black dial is like a river of deep black paint, flowing downstream and finding its exit point at that date complication, running and flowing effortlessly down that window opening, so smooth and yet so refined, pure class. You see, the saying is true, it's the little things in life that matter. I've also heard it said that the devil is in the detail. Generally, I'm not a big fan of mainstream. I like watches that are different, in a good, beneficial way to the wearer, either visually or pure functionality. But when it comes to romance and love, well, this sea dweller doesn't have to say a word. You just have to look at it. But you have to look at it with the right eyes and the right heart. There are so many reasons why people buy a Rolex today. For some, it's status and a demonstration of success in life and achievement. For others, it's being able to attain that grail watch, the light at the end of the tunnel. Others can clearly see that there's plenty of money to be made and treat it as an investment piece, both short-term and long. But it's not about the money, it's not about the profit. There's a particular type of look that I see in a watch like this, and it's tugging at the heartstrings. It's drawing me in. It's the romance, it's the passion, it's the love. It's an attachment to a historical piece and something original. It's beautiful. Whatever the case, there are certain watches that have knocked the ball straight out of the stadium with their technological and physical achievements, both on land and in the deepest part of the Earth's ocean. However, if I have to be quite frank, there's only a handful of watches that have a particular look that is pure delight. And to put it quite simply, they are magic. To me, this sea dweller is right up there with the best of the best. It's classic, timeless, and never to be outdated. Thanks for watching.